You screwed up, do you know that? My wife asked, trying to take my hand. I looked around the room, the metal table, the bars on the windows, and the people in overalls and prison guards who were watching me intently. You never told me this was going to happen, she says, looking me straight in the eye. I look away, remembering the last few months, and shrug my shoulders. But here we are, I reply without much emotion. I caught Dorothy in bed with my boss 6 months earlier. Their conversation in the bedroom devastated me. But the worst part was that our 6-month-old daughter was sleeping downstairs. John, you know I did it for us, she said. I've heard those words many times since that night. I know you want to believe it, Dorothy, but you keep forgetting to look at it from my side. Can you handle yourself? Try to look at it from my point of view, I objected again, not for the first time. But you shouldn't have tried to stop us. It's your fault, my wife arrogantly told me. My wife was unhappy that in a fit of rage I burst into the bedroom to confront them. But she did not understand that my boss Tom, although old enough to be her father, was 3 times bigger than me. I deflected the first 3 blows, but after a few moments I was on the floor. At the hospital, I was visited by 2 friendly police officers who accepted my testimony and, after listening to my story, offered to hire a lawyer. Was it worth it, John? My wife said in a now contemptuous tone, pulling me out of my memories. I studied her. She was pretty, and until that night, I thought she was all mine. Of course, I was wrong. What did you think? I spat back, trying to contain my anger. The guard looked in our direction, but said nothing. We are sitting here, and I can't get out of my head that the mother of my child was nothing but a vile cheater for more than 6 months, when she should have just been my happy wife. We were supposed to raise our child together, not sit here. You've ruined everything. You did it yourself, Dorothy said. I did what any good father should do. When my daughter grows up, she will understand that I am not a coward, not an old man, and not a fraud, I said proudly, seeing how my wife cringed at these words. But you didn't have to do that, John. What's going on now? She asked with some sadness in her voice. Look, I said, pointing to my lawyer, who was sitting at another table, waiting for my cue. It was a little difficult to put him on the prison visitor list, but there was a certain process, and he had everything ready. Mrs. Dorothy, the lawyer addressed her, I have here the divorce papers between you and your husband. The lawyer spent the next few minutes going through the documents with us, explaining the procedure for dividing the property and the trust fund that would be created at the end of the term. By the time the lawyer got up and was escorted out of the visiting room, Dorothy was sobbing. Please, John, this can't be happening, she begged. I stood up and looked at my wife. The prison guard looked at me and I nodded, giving him 2 thumbs up. Just a few more minutes, Dorothy. You knowingly slept with him in our bed, humiliated me in front of him, did nothing to protect me when he beat me unconscious, and let's not talk about how you tried to make me take the blame for the 2 of you stealing $750,000. What do you think was going to happen? But thanks to you, I grinned, I got a job with Brian, I got custody of Jennifer, and you were right, his daughter Elizabeth is crazy about me. Elizabeth is coming to dinner tonight after she found out that I divorced your lying ass. Dorothy couldn't take it anymore. A few minutes later, I left the meeting room with a smile. I was ready for dinner and was looking forward to the grown-up dessert that Elizabeth hinted I would receive from her for helping to free her mother from the crook. I smiled in anticipation, preparing to be happy again.